Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is of course Miles. Now today I've got a video that I recorded a little while ago, but not too long ago, and it's on detailing caves. So first of all, I'm just going to show you around this cave what I've got so far, and show you kind of what I'll be showing you how to make. And then I'll go for the blocks, and then we'll go into building it. So it's kind of more about observing and just seeing how I do it. I don't really think I'm going to be able to explain it particularly well, but never mind. So this cave is from my horror map of the woods. And yeah, so we're mixing in some interesting block types as well, I thought I'd quickly point out. And dirt does go in it, but just very, very, very small amounts of it. There's a tiny amount in one of the areas. There's like 2 blocks of it. I wouldn't recommend using dirt all that much. As you can see, there's a little bit there on my left just now. Recommend using it a little bit, but not much. Okay, so... Ooh. So the blocks we're going to be using, as you can see, we also mix in ores. Ores are very important to a cave fill, but we have stone slabs, andesite slabs, gravel, andesite cobblestone, dead brain coral, dead tube coral, stone stairs, which I wouldn't recommend using very much, and then of course just stone. I wouldn't particularly add in diorite or andesite, even though I do quite like andesite and diorite myself. I wouldn't necessarily suggest adding them in, but it depends what kind of cave you're building, so you never know, it might go quite nicely with yours. And just make sure you also use a variety of different blocks. Don't just kind of stick to one block. And make it natural. Now when I say natural, I don't mean like Minecraft natural, because a Minecraft cave isn't natural. I'm not talking about like real life natural. It's kind of got to have a sort of natural theme that isn't kind of Minecraft or real life, if that makes any sense. It's kind of a bit hard to explain, but yeah. I also don't recommend leaving like little gaps in there like I've done here, but every now and then it does work. So like that, I wouldn't normally recommend doing that, but every now and then it does work, and it can look quite nice. And obviously don't make anything look too kind of square, or don't leave anything too much of the same block. So using slabs is great to kind of like give it a slightly larger fill, but without making it too big, or make it smaller. Depends how you want to do it. But yes, obviously stone is obviously also your base block. You want to always kind of use more stone than most things most of the time. Depends what sort of area you're building. Whereas if you're building, say, a gravel mine, obviously you'd have a lot of gravel. And obviously don't forget obviously your ores, which I've pre-added in. That was one of the first things I did. I built a very, very minimal structure of caves, and then just put in a few ores here and a few ores there. And as you can see, the dead brain coral goes quite nicely with andesite actually, which is quite nice, because I wasn't really expecting it to, but yeah. And obviously don't forget the floor, guys. The floor is very, very important. Little rise and falls in the floor, making sure that they're not just flat with one block, mixing in loads of different blocks and texturing it, so making little gaps, whether that's using a stair in the ground or a slab, or just making it a slab taller with a block in the middle or something to make it like slightly taller or whatever. You can even waterlog a couple blocks depending what kind of cave you're making. If you add like stairs and slabs, you could waterlog them if it's quite low down. I haven't done this in this. And also you can add water above the cave so you get drops dropping down. I also didn't do this because, well, I just didn't. And as you can see there that I just showed you, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but you can every now and then, but just not too much. And also, one thing I would quite like to point out is I feel like in the upper section of the cave, it feels like it's quite heavy. It feels like it's going to it could fall down. That's a feeling that you really want to go for. That's definitely a sort of cave feeling, if that makes sense. Tell you what, my desk chair is really squeaky. And also, guys, just to go slightly off topic, my dad is buying another memory stick today, so we can back up my computer. Hopefully to, well, we're going to try running some software on it, and then I'm probably going to upgrade to Windows 10 while it's backed up, so, yeah. But he needs to buy a larger memory stick, so we don't have one that's big enough. I thought I did, but I don't, so, yeah. Anyways, back to the cave. Sorry to get off topic, but I just thought I'd very quickly mention that. Obviously making it different kind of heights and sections, not just necessarily just going up or just going down or whatever. The dead brain tube looks quite... No, the dead coral brain tube The dead tube coral looks quite nice, which is the top one with like the larger bits on it. Looks quite nice with just added with stone, but then it mixes really nicely with the other corals with andesite or stone on the bottom. Especially andesite goes very, very well with the dead brain coral. So this kind of line here is sort of going to be like the wall between the two different sort of cave sections. And the lights in there, because it's sort of like an old mine. Well, it's more of a mine, but yeah, well, I mean, a mine and a cave, they're sort of the same thing. This is sort of an old mine, an abandoned mine, this section of the map. And, yeah. Not sure why I'm so tired. Hopefully, the first edition of the map will be released soon. In all honesty, I haven't actually made any progress since I put the message out on Discord. But it should be releasing very, very soon. I think at this point I hadn't built chapter 3. Oh yeah, so how it works is I've built it in sort of chapters. So you have sort of chapter 1, and then this is chapter 2. There's I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a village, and then then the abandoned cave, the abandoned mine. This is chapter 2, and there's a third chapter, and yeah, I do hope people like it when its first edition is released. If you want to hop down into the description, there will be a link to the Woods, because as you know, this map is called The Woods. There will be a link to the Woods official Discord server if you want to join, because there will be screenshots being uploaded and little clips, and also I'll just upload news about it, and also when it's released, that will be where to get it. You won't be getting it anywhere else. You can only get it from there when it's released. So do make sure you head over to the server. I'm not sure why I've been waiting so much today, because I'm not all that tired. I slept quite well. But there you go. Yeah, link will be in the description if you do want to go head over and join. I'm also hoping soon that there'll be some videos of some of my mates playing this map. I have a couple of them saying, yep, they'll record it and send it back to me, which for me to upload, which will be good. I am quite excited for this. Yeah. I mean, the thing about the caves is just detailing it. It's just using different blocks. Just making sure it's not too sharp, but not too smooth, not too kind of rounded, if that makes sense. So don't necessarily place a slab and then just like slab it everywhere, because it just makes it kind of too smooth and not natural enough. And also, you know, mixing, you have to mix the different blocks, and don't just make it in like one direction, the slope or whatever. Change it up. So I think some of it is a little bit sloped in sort of one direction, all going at once. But that's not how it should be. Make sure it's different. It really needs to go down in places, go up in places, and, you know, it has to be different. You can't have it looking the same. And gravel makes a really good floor block, as you can see here. It mixes really nicely with the corals and andesite in the floor. So yeah, just make sure the floor is just important as the roof. So just make sure that it, you know, is kept in tie with it, and it doesn't look, you know, well, you know, I don't really know how to explain it now. Yeah, so just be careful with it and make sure it's not all to the same or whatever. And personally, I wouldn't use too many stairs and slabs. Well, slabs I would use more than stairs. I wouldn't use too many stairs. But obviously, you know, go ahead and do. And of course, buttons. Buttons make really good rocks on the floor. Now, just make sure, if you do decide to use buttons as rocks, do just make sure that you don't have like buttons in other places that are actually used for something. Admittedly, I do on the control panel, but then again, it is on the control panel, and I feel like it being on the control panel, people hopefully will think, oh, they're rocks, not buttons, hopefully. Because if they do that, it'll be a little bit sort of embarrassing. They're just running around clicking all these buttons going, what do they do? What do they do? What do they do? And they don't do anything. So, yeah, hopefully, I do hope that the buttons are useful. Yeah, I think I just come over. Yeah, and also, guys, it's not about always just doing the cave in one area and building it over. Just change around where you're doing it. You can do it in different areas at once. It's really not a big deal. So, yeah, I kept jumping around from section to section, more so off camera than when I was filming. but I did because it can get, you can kind of get stuck at one area. You just go off and do something else and come back to it, and then it just changes, and it looked pretty good. So yeah. And coral blocks are honestly, they're absolutely amazing for caves. They look absolutely amazing. They're a really nice kind of stone block, which is really nice. The dead brain coral looked quite nice with, as I said earlier, it does go really, ties really nicely in with gravel. Shame you can't obviously put gravel in the roof unless I put string underneath it, which will kind of ruin it. And if you want to, I don't, because I feel like it somewhat ruins it. Depending what kind of map you're building, you could always put a few cobwebs in the corners, but obviously not too many. You only need like one, maybe two, otherwise it just completely ruins it having loads of cobwebs. So, yeah. These little things, I've forgotten what they're called, make a great addition to the roof. I can't remember what they're called now. Maybe making them a 3, so this gap where you've got the stone in the andesite one, where my crosshair is, maybe putting one not quite as long there, also would look quite nice. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it really. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope you learnt something. If you did, then please do hit that like button. And you know what, guys, if you absolutely love this video, which I kind of doubt because it's just me building a cave and talking about how to make a cave similar to it, but if you did enjoy it, then please do hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. And peace out, don't die, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.